I did push record, right? Why do I do this? I knew I did. Trust yourself. Trust yourself, honey child. Okay. Hi. Welcome back. I'm so glad you guys are here today. Today's going to be juicy. It's going to be short and sweet, but juicy. Are you ready? Let's go. Welcome to Empowered Now. I'm your host, Colette Kati. Join me as we talk all things to uplift, encourage, teach, inspire, and empower you to see your best self, to live your best life, and to thrive wherever you are. If you have been listening to my previous episodes, the last 3 specifically, we talk a lot about guilt, and specifically mom guilt, in air quotes. And this topic is not leaving my mind, which tells me I need to say more about this. There needs to be more that is discussed. And I hope to have some guests on in the near future that we can really dive a little bit more. That was like, we're really going in, but just a little bit. This is very important that we talk about this. And maybe it's coming up because Mother's Day just happened, well, a little while ago, but it feels like, what are we doing, moms? What are we doing? Do dads get this? Do dads get this dad guilt where they are just, oh my gosh, I am the worst parent. My child went to school without their hair being brushed. No, they do not. If you are a dad that feels this, please tell me. I want to know, and I want to debunk this gender myth if it is a myth. But in my experience, most mothers that I have talked to experience this on the daily, and the husbands or the dads in the scenario are like, why are you feeling this way? Why are you doing this to yourself? Am I right? Please tell me. Please tell me if you know what I'm talking about. So this idea of us as women, as moms, constantly feeling like we are not measuring up, measuring. I am from a small town, you guys, and I have recently been privy to the way that I say measure, and I say it like measure. I grew up saying measure. I need to measure it. Measure. And I have been told recently that is not actually correct. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. It sounds weird now because I've been around a little bit. And other people say measure. You know what? These are all things that we can honor about ourselves. This is me. And I measure up sometimes, and sometimes I feel like I don't measure up. Okay? And we go back to the mom guilt. It's a real thing. We think that we don't measure up. We need to do all of these perfect things to be these perfect versions of ourselves so that our kids don't have to suffer. And I think that's where it comes from. It's coming from a deep place of love for our children. We want them to have every experience in life that is going to uplift them, that's going to bless them and make them feel like they are loved, that they are worthy, that they are valued, that they deserve a good life. And we make it our responsibility to make sure that that happens. And it's only our responsibility, right? That's what we assume. And we take on this huge mantle of perfection because we love our kids. Does that resonate with you? Because when I explore this feeling for myself, because I am very well versed in the language of mom guilt in my brain, and as I hear it, and even though I am a life coach and I have learned many things about myself and how I do accept myself as I am, that pattern of feeling needless guilt for not measuring up in all the different ways that we make, lists for ourselves, it's real and it still creeps up on me. And I have to be very diligent in acknowledging, oh, I am feeling this needless mom guilt per se. So in today's episode, I would really like to just discuss this, I'm not going to call it a problem, because I also believe that all things show up for our benefit so that we can grow from them. This is not a problem. It's just something that we can learn from. And just even by talking about this, by acknowledging that it's a thing, are we already connecting ourselves even more? We're already debunking the anxiety that can come up with it. We're already being like, oh yes, I feel this too. I'm not alone. I'm connected. We get it. We're all together in this. And I don't care if you're a new mom, a seasoned mom, you have experienced this mom guilt. First of all, first thing that I want to address, and I know I've said this in my previous episodes when we talked about the freedom formula, the everyday freedom formula, guilt is actually helpful for us. What? Yes, it is. Let me explain. Okay. So guilt is meant to be a trigger, like emotion that comes up to warn us or give us a notification, like a ping in our brain. Oh, you did something that is not aligned with your values. Okay. And maybe it's something that you need to make amends to somebody with. It just is. It's just one thing. And it happened. And oh, am I aligned with my values? Do I need to make a change? Do I need to redirect? Do I need to make amends? Do I need to apologize? What is this? Okay. And it's just meant to be that. That's it. We're not meant to wallow in it. We're not meant to berate ourselves over it or develop this language that somehow it's a problem that we have veered from our path a little bit. It's just life. Life is a series of experiences and choices. And sometimes the choices that we make don't always align with who we want to be or who we are at our core and who we believe ourselves to be or who we want ourselves to be. And that guilt shows up just as an indication to, oh, we're off the path a little bit. Let's redirect. And by the way, nobody gets to tell you what your values are. You get to decide that. I have a list of values for me that are kind of my non-negotiables, that when I do things that veer from that, it's not that it's not that it's a problem. It's just like, oh, I fell into this pattern of people pleasing again. And my value actually is to be authentically me and standing in my power. And so what do I need to do to redirect? Simple. Okay. The problem that happens is that we can get that whole system of checks and balances within ourselves totally out of whack. And that's where mom guilt comes in. And I'm going to call it mom shame, because shame is what we're actually talking about here. Guilt is it's just a little, friend to be like, hey, did you really want to do that? Is that really who you want to be? Because if it is, that's fine. We'll go with it. But if it's not who you want to be, let's redirect. Shame is, nope, I am a horrible person. Okay, so guilt says I did something that's off. Let me redirect. Shame says I am bad. I am a terrible person. I am not okay. I am not enough. I am not whole. That's the difference. Do we see the difference? Guilt and just having a redirection, being able to acknowledge every version of ourselves, being able to sit with ourselves in a present moment and be okay with, okay, I'm not quite where I want to be, but I'm still enough. I'm still a good person. I'm still whole. I'm still worthy. I have value, and I'm worthy of compassion and love. But what happens is that we get so far off from that we think we're not enough. We're now, something happens with our children. And I don't know why. I think it specifically comes up so much with children because we care so much. We want we want so badly for them to have everything that they deserve. And ironically, we want to instill in them this enoughness and this sense of belonging within themselves, that they are enough and that they belong, but we keep denying ourselves of that same thing. So, what are some ways we can get out of this? And I just really want to know from you guys. Let me know in the comments if you're watching this on YouTube. Let me know in Instagram DMs or however you feel like you can reach out to me. I would love to hear your thoughts on this, because it's so universal and yet so difficult to figure out, how do we stop doing this? How do we stop doing this? And it's not one answer. It's not one thing. But I will tell you, as you start to shift your focus from the outside in approach to the inside out approach, meaning you're going to go inward and acknowledge what you're feeling with compassion. Because when we judge it, when we judge our experiences, or when we judge our choices even, we have a tendency to put ourselves in that category of, I'm not enough. Oh my gosh, I'm a terrible person. Oh my gosh, if anybody knew that I actually did that, or that I felt that, or that I thought that, they wouldn't, I would be not enough. They wouldn't accept me. They wouldn't love me. They wouldn't want to be around me. I'm a terrible person. I'm speaking to you right now. Am I not? I'm speaking to past self right now. I'm really speaking to that version of me that really felt this. And even still, sometimes that lie will come up in my mind. You're not enough. And I have to, I don't have to, but I choose to continue doing this inner work of coming back to myself. Oh, that's interesting. That thought in my head tried to tell me that I'm not enough. That's so interesting. I see you. I see that you're trying to help me. By the way, every time we have a judgment around ourselves, it's because there's an internal part of us that thinks we're helping. Psychology. Here's a little piece of it. We think that if we judge something or we shame it, that we are going to create change. Okay? So that's our brain trying to make us change. But what if love was actually more powerful for creating change? Judgment tries to tell us that no, you can't love it, because then it'll stay the same. It'll be complacent. It will be, nope, I'm fine, so I'm not going to change. That's not actually true, and I would question it all day long. Okay? If you have something that happens and you feel like, oh, I didn't quite align with myself on that, but I love myself anyway. What do I need to do differently? See how different the language and the feeling around that is versus, oh my gosh, I'm a terrible person. How could I have done that? Nobody's going to love me. I can't believe it. Oh, I'm such an idiot. Like, what feels easier to change? What kind of language helps you feel encouraged to make good, healthy changes in your life? I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer. And yet we do it all the time. And we even do it as parents. And I don't want you to judge yourself right here if you do that. I'm getting excited. If you notice that you're using shame with your children, the right answer isn't to go to shame and start judging yourself. It's just important that you see it. And that, I acknowledge and I witness that I actually use shame with my kids to try to get them to change, because I'm afraid that if they don't, that they won't have happy lives, or that I will somehow be affected by it. This is normal. We're not judging this, okay? Every parent has done this. Every parent has used their fear and shame to, I say every parent, maybe there's like a magical beautiful, sparkly parent out there that hasn't done this, but in my experience, this is very universal, especially it's societal. In society, we have just used shame for centuries to create and invoke change, to help better us as humans and as people. And it's not effective in my opinion and my experience. And I used it for a long time on myself, and I've even used it with my children to hope that they would change, right? Because we love them and we want them to have the best life possible. And sometimes we think that we know exactly what that is. But I'm here to tell you that loving energy, that bringing that energy of love and acceptance, that is what actually creates change. Because if you can love and accept yourself, when you love and accept your children, it frees them up to be exactly who they are. And then they can evaluate themselves. Is this who I want to be? There's so many directions that we could go with this topic. We could go into parenting. We could go into, how your pattern of growing up and being with yourself affects how you are with your kids. There's so many directions, but I want to kind of stay focused because I get really all over the place sometimes because I just love the psychology of it. Now that it makes sense to me is like, wow, think of how different life could be if we brought in a little bit more compassion. And so I want to paint this picture for you just one more time. It's not easy being a mom. We know that. There's no manual that comes, manual, I don't know, manual. Okay, now I'm getting in my head. There's no manual that comes with our children. And by the way, I'm speaking to dads too. If this resonates with you, I'm not trying to be, pigeonholed, but in my experience, it's definitely a mom thing that we do. It's difficult. There's no manual that comes with our children, especially they're all different. If you have multiple children, they're going to be different than you. One of the things my children hate when I do is, when I was a kid, because it's different. The times are different. The intake, what's the word I'm looking for? The stimulus, the amount of just with social media alone and technology alone, there's so many different things that our children now are up against, I guess. And it can be even more difficult as a mom to feel like we're doing all the right things. And by the way, you're not going to do all the right things. But if you can accept that, if you can stomach, I'm not going to do all the right things here. This is an experiment. This is like a life project. No parent is ever going to be a perfect parent. No child is ever going to be a perfect child. Nobody is going to grow up without having had problems and pain, whether by themselves or by somebody else. There is pain. Life, that is part of the process. And I think sometimes we get that intellectually, but then as a parent, we're trying so hard to make it not so, because we don't want to experience pain, and we don't want our children to have to suffer because we love them so deeply. So one main thing that I would want you to leave here with is that idea that it's not going to be perfect. You're not going to be perfect. And maybe you're saying, yes, but I would like to be a little better. And that's great. That's fine. But don't beat yourself up in the process. Beating yourself up will only make you worse. It will only make you parent worse, because we don't thrive well, we don't live well, we don't show up well, we don't play well when we are in a state of shame. So if shame is your go-to, and maybe this is new to you, I don't think that I even realized I had mom shame. I definitely know I had some mom guilt, and I just kind of was like, okay, well, maybe I'll try to be a better parent and everything will work out. But once I learned about shame, it was like an aha moment for me. Shame is going to keep you stuck in shame. So anytime, and what is, and the best thing to counteract shame is compassion, empathy, love. The same things that we give to our children, it's time to give it to your damn self, okay? Pardon my language, but I get really passionate about this. You mamas, I see you. I see you and I hear you. You're in my inbox every day and you're struggling and it's hard and you're watching your children do life and that's not always pretty. Sometimes it's so messy and it hurts and their pain is your pain and I hear you and I see you and I get it. But beating yourself up over it is not going to help them. I promise you. You send love within, and the love without can be seen and felt. You learn to give that love to yourself, and your children will learn to embody it within themselves because they see it. They feel it because it's coming from within you. There's no amount of pleasing or perfecting or pretty that is going to help your children. It's the love that you give to yourself, that full body, mind, soul acceptance. How do you do that? There's so many different ways, and that's what I do. I am a professional at this, okay? So if this is something that you're feeling that this is resonating with you, I am going to give you a tool today. But if you want to go deeper, I have a few openings in my private coaching schedule, and we can really go deep with this. And you can really transform from the inside out. So if this is calling to you, if you're thinking, oh my gosh, I have shame, I want to get rid of it. I don't want it to be there anymore. I know it's affecting me. I know it's affecting my children and my other relationships. It's time to shift it. I don't know how. I'm your girl. I've got you. Apply now. I'll have the link in the description on YouTube and in the show notes in my podcast. That's also in my profiles on Instagram and TikTok. So yes, we can do this, okay? But I want to leave you with a tool today that is going to help you come back to your core, okay? So when you notice mom guilt coming up, when you notice this, any language around your interaction with your children, anything that is like, oh my gosh, here it is again. There's the mom guilt, whether it's an emotion, whether it's a thought, whatever it is, you're feeling it. Oh my gosh, it's happening again. I want you to place your hand on your heart. This is called compassionate self-forgiveness. I actually learned this from Alyssa Nobrega in the Institute of Coaching Mastery. It's a phenomenal program if you want to become a life coach. Anyways, that was a side note. Place your hand on your heart. And one important part of this is that you need to acknowledge that we're not forgiving ourselves. We are forgiving the judgments we have made about ourselves because everything is just a misunderstanding. We are whole. We are enough. And I'm always going to see you that way. Maybe there's a part of you that doesn't believe that and doesn't see it, but that's what we're going to do here every day in the podcast or every time you listen. Not every day. I'm not filming every day, but that's what we do here. I'm going to witness your wholeness. I'm going to witness your innate enoughness. And that's the place that we're coming from in everything that we do. And I want you to start embodying that for yourself. You are enough. You are whole. And maybe you don't feel it yet. And that's why we do this work. Because you've never had to build your worth. You've never had to gain it or create it. It's always been there. Always. You never had to do anything for it. And that's where we need to start, because a lot of you are thinking, oh, I don't really believe that. I think I still have to hustle for it, and I'm going to hustle for it. Oh my gosh. And it's exhausting, right? No, I'm always going to see you from a place of wholeness, because you are. You are always enough. What we're doing now is we're uncovering the lies and the myths and the gunk that has covered that up. Okay? So when we go into this idea of forgiving ourselves in this self-forgiveness exercise, we're not really forgiving ourselves because we're not a problem. We're forgiving the judgments that we have made. It's almost like we're just like, oh, I realized that I thought this about myself when it actually wasn't that way. We're just forgiving the lies. We're forgiving our misunderstandings. Okay, so placing your hand on your heart, and you're going to, we're going to have a specific statement. So with mom guilt, often there are statements like, I'm a failure as a mom. Okay, help me. I need to tap into that feeling again. Like, oh, the ick. Let's tap into the ick. My children would be better off without me. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I screwed up again and I forgot. I can't believe my child is yelling at me. That must mean that I am not doing a good job. I can't believe that my children don't do nice things for other kids, or that they're mean to other kids. It must mean that I'm doing something wrong as a parent. Yeah. Oh, that's a big one, right? When our kids behave in a certain way, then we make it mean something about us. Ooh, that's a whole other episode. Okay. So just tap into whatever you're feeling, whatever that statement is for you, and repeat after me. I forgive myself for buying into the misunderstanding that because my child behaves a certain way, that I'm not a good mom. The truth is, and then you tap into what's true. And for some of you, this might be really difficult because you're still thinking, well, it's true that I'm not a good mom. That's true, isn't it? Just slow down, take a deep breath. If you're seeing yourself from a place of wholeness, what's actually true? What's true? What's the truth? So I forgive myself for buying into the misunderstanding that when my child behaves this way, that I'm not a good mom. The truth is that my child's behavior says nothing to do with about the kind of mom I am. I love them no matter what. And it's just about understanding tools and different ways of being with them that I can try to help them. But I'm still a good mom. And I love my child, and I'm enough. Okay, do you see the difference here? Shame is going to try to tell you all the opposite things. But this is a powerful way to come back to what's actually true if you are seeing yourself from a place of wholeness. And that's another episode. And that is a whole coaching program to help you get there, because often that's the part that we get stuck, is that we're not seeing our own wholeness and our own worth, our own value, our own enoughness. And that's what creates this trickle of problems and pain. It's not actually true, guys. It's not actually true. And I'm here to help you get to the truth. We're going to uncover the truth that's always been there for you. Anyways, I love you guys. That's all I've got for today. If you have questions, please let me know in the comments. And I would love to hear your experiences. Please reach out to me. If you're not comfortable with being in comments and everybody seeing it, DM me. I don't always respond right away, and sometimes it takes me a few days to get to my DMs, but I will eventually see it, and I want to stay connected to you, so please reach out. And I freaking love you guys. You're enough, and I want you to know it. I'll see you next time. Bye. Thanks for watching Empowered Now. If anything you heard today resonated with you and you want more, please like and subscribe so that you won't miss an upload. You can also follow me on social media at Colette Kati. And if you're interested in working with me more closely through coaching or other opportunities, go to my website, ColetteKati.com. It is my hope that you will continue to come back and experience for yourself the benefits of choosing an empowered life. Your feedback and your experience are very important to me, so please take a moment to connect with me in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts on today's episode, ideas for future topics, and ideas for guests that you would like to see. And as always, thanks for your time, support, and your courage to live empowered now.